Usually there's more. Yeah. Small.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Kingsport Board of Mayor and Aldermen, May 5th, 2026 business meeting. I'm calling this meeting to order, and we will stand for the pledge led by me, followed by invocation led by Tyra Copus. Let's all stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight with grateful hearts for the many blessings you continue to provide for our community. Tonight, we ask for your guidance over this meeting and over all of those who partake in it. Please grant the decision makers tonight with wisdom. May their choices reflect sound judgment and a sincere desire to serve our community. We also ask for your continued protection over all of our city employees, both those who serve behind the scenes and out in the field. Keep them safe in their daily duties, give them strength in the challenges they face, and help them remember that their work matters. We lift our community up to you tonight. May it continue to be a place of unity, respect, and compassion. Under your guidance, may our city continue to grow in ways that are beneficial for everyone. And in everything we do and in all of our actions, may we honor you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Tyra. Let's all be seated. Okay. I will call roll call, please.
Mayor Montgomery,
Here.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Here.
Alderman Baker,
Here.
Alderman Cooper,
Here.
Alderman George,
Here.
Alderman Mays,
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Thank you, sir. All 6 of 7 board members are present, which means we have a quorum. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we have several recognitions on the agenda tonight. We will begin by recognizing ALS Awareness Month. As Vice Mayor Duncan makes his way to the podium, if Ron Cottaspati would join him there, please.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to do the proclamation first, and then I'm going to just have a few words to say, and then I'll let Ron or his family, and if they want to say a few things. But this is ALS month, and so this reads, whereas amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, is a progressive fatal neurodegenerative disease in which a person's brain loses connection with their muscles, slowly reducing a person's ability to walk, talk, eat, and eventually breathe. Whereas thousands of new ALS cases are reported every year, and estimates show that every 90 minutes someone is diagnosed with ALS and someone passes away from ALS. Whereas, on average, patients diagnosed with ALS survive only 2 to 5 years from the time of diagnosis. Whereas, the exact cause of ALS are unknown and there is no cure for ALS. Whereas people who have served in the military are more likely to develop ALS and die from the disease than those with no history of military service. Whereas securing access to new therapies, durable medical equipment, and communication technologies is vital of the importance to people living with ALS. Whereas ALS Awareness Month provides an opportunity to increase public awareness, the dire circumstances of people living with ALS, acknowledge the terrible impact this disease has on those individuals and their families, and support research to educate this disease. Now, therefore, our Honorable Paul Montgomery and my colleagues on the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and the City of Kingsport do hereby proclaim May 2026 as ALS Awareness Month in the City of Kingsport, and encourage the Kingsport community to join in supporting ALS research, advocating for increased funding, and standing in solidarity for those affected by this relentless disease. The Cottaspatis are here. This has got to be one of the most cruel diseases I think they are. And so 2 weeks ago, the Chamber through Healthy Kingsport, had a walk, and they raised almost $27,000 for ALS awareness. And awareness is the key to this, especially as we go into research. Paul caught a spotty. A lot of people knew Paul, and so he went to church at First Broad. He was a wonderful husband and dedicated father, son, and brother, and he was an avid runner. And a lot of people will remember Paul as being with his running community. And even after he was diagnosed with this and could no longer even run, then he had some of his fellow runners that pushed him in many races that was across the Tri-Cities. He put up a hard-fought battle, there's no doubt, but he succumbed to this 2 years ago, this past January. And so I've got with me, of course, Ron and Betsy, and your fiance is with us tonight. And we thank you all for being here. It's just unfortunate disease, and hopefully there will be a cure one day. And Ron, I'll let you say a few words if you'd like to. So,
about for long back in 2020 was when my father got diagnosed officially. It was one of those that it was devastating news that we did not want to hear, and we have, ever since he has gotten it, we have pushed and pushed and pushed for more cures to be pushed out there and more research to be done on this disease. And to this day, it still sucks seeing people who get this disease, whether it be diagnosed or they are still suffering through it, and there's nothing they can do to slow it down or bring it to an end. But as long as I'm still standing and I'm still here, I will push for this disease to be stopped. I do not want it to be a death sentence for anybody who gets this disease at all. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for doing this and making more awareness of this throughout the city of Kingsport and hopefully throughout the whole United States. Thank you, guys.
appreciate you.
Next, I'll ask Alderman Mays to make his way to the podium for a recognition of National Drinking Water Week. And I'd ask that Dustin and Hunter Hammonds, if you both would please join Gary at the podium.
Thank you, Mayor and Board, for allowing me to give this presentation. But before I begin, I want to recognize Dustin and Hunter Hammonds with the City of Kingsport Water Plant. And just in case you can't tell the difference, we have father and son here. Brothers, excuse me, brothers. My notes say father and son. Okay, we're good. All right, so just want to make sure I can read correctly, but
If we can get away with it, I'm going with it.
you can't get away with it. All right.
I was trying to decide which one was the father.
That's what I was about to say. You stole my joke. Yeah, so we know who the father is. He's the first one to speak up, but you really can't tell the difference, right? They're two fine men, but also what they do on a daily basis is very important to the city of Kingsport. I have with me, to validate their hard work and what they do every day, the annual water quality report. Now, this is a very important document, and I know the board and the mayor, Chris, city manager, we know this document very well. It's very important to us as city leaders. But my point to bring this up is to use this as an opportunity for those that are watching online and for the record, to please take a moment and think about the City of Kingsport water system and how safe our water is in the City of Kingsport. And Google headlines across the United States or even across the world. And not all cities, unfortunately, not all cities have the same luxury of having safe, clean drinking water like the City of Kingsport. Our water quality report is outstanding, and I think it lends itself to the hard work that our team here does, to this board and even past boards over the past generations, making an emphasis on safe, clean water for the City of Kingsport. So thank you very much for what you do, and appreciate you being here tonight. And without further ado, we'll read the proclamation. So, whereas water is our most valuable natural resource, essential for public health, fire protection, and economic vitality. And whereas drinking water serves as a vital role in our daily lives, serving as essential purpose for health, hydration, and hygiene. And whereas for more than 50 years, Drinking Water Week has been observed and recognized the vital role water plays in our daily lives, and to honor those dedicated professionals who work tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure its safe and reliability. And whereas our community's future depends on a sustainable and resilient water supply requiring ongoing investment in modern infrastructure, the protection of our natural source waters, and a commitment to conservation. And whereas the citizens of our city are called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, practice water conservation, and get involved with their water by familiarizing themselves with it. Therefore, I, Paul Montgomery, Mayor of the City of Kingsport, on behalf of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Kingsport, do hereby proclaim May 3rd through May the 9th, 2026 as Drinking Water Week. In Kingsport, we encourage all citizens to recognize and appreciate the hard work that goes into making drinking water readily available. So, thank you very much. Appreciate what you do. And please take this and on behalf of the board, share it with your team and staff and let them know that we value their hard work. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Sheila Catron in the back for putting this brochure together. It's always good information, and we thank you for doing that, as well as all the employees that do an outstanding job within our utilities. Our utility director, Nikki Enzier, is here tonight as well, and appreciate the work that you do, leading your team. It's now that time of year where we recognize our employee dependent scholarship recipients, and I'd like to ask our Human Resources team, led by Tyra Copas, if she'd make her way to the podium, along with the recipients that are here tonight.
Don't be shy. Well, May always brings a renewed, come on up here in the front there. A renewed sense as we look at our graduates across our region and the excitement they have around going to school, or the nervousness they have around going to school. And so we're here tonight to talk about our Employee Dependent Scholarship Awards. And I have Tessa Neal with me as well, and I can't take credit for this. Tessa is the actual one that coordinates all of this for us and works with these students and works with our employees to get their applications in. So we have 2 of the 3 award recipients tonight, and we think one may be playing ball, maybe. But she's not able to be here, so she's got all of her extracurricular going on. But this is a long-standing program between KHRA and the City of Kingsport, where employees donate annually or in their monthly pay or biweekly paychecks for our Dependent Scholarship Award. And we also have 3 entities who donate for us. That's the Kingsport Police Department has a charity event, and they donate. We have Horizon Credit Union. I was just looking to see if they were here. They donate an annual scholarship. And then we have our John Campbell Scholarship in honor of his mother that is an award. So I'm going to go over the program details. These students, again, they're employee or dependents of our employees. Whoops. This pen does not want to stay on here. Thank you, Tessa. So they are selected by a board. We have a board of 5 directors who review their applications and determine the individual and what amounts that they will receive. They are reviewed based off of academic achievement, good moral character, and leadership qualities. And so this year, we're giving out $3,750 to 3 individuals. And so, Tessa, if you'll do the honors of giving them their certificate. Hunter Shepard is with us tonight. Hunter's receiving the $1,000 Kingsport PD scholarship. He plans to attend Roane State Community College and is going to be studying physical therapy. And he is the son of Stephanie Carter in our finance department. Elise Leonard is our second one. Elise is going to be receiving $1,250 scholarship She's also the recipient of the John Campbell $500 scholarship that is part of the 1250. She plans to attend Northeast State Community College. She's going to focus on education, and she is the daughter of Steve Leonard in our fleet department. And yes, she just got a brand-new vehicle. I had to ask that question. So, if our fleet manager did not get her a brand-new vehicle, we were going to have some talk about that. And then the one who could not be here with us is Lacey Fugit, and Lacey is receiving the $1,500 scholarship. $1,000 of that is through our Horizon Credit Union scholarship. She's going to be attending Lincoln Memorial University, studying finance, and she is the daughter of Timothy Fugit, our crew leader in Public Works. So, again, congratulations to the both of you two in all of our scholarships, and we wish you the very best on your education journey.
It's exciting.
Thank you very much. This is the part of our meeting tonight where citizens may come and speak to us on any agenda item or any issue-related item that you may have. When you come to the podium, we ask you to state your name, address, and sign the register that's there. We are encouraging you to keep your comments non-personal in nature, and they should be limited to 5 minutes. I will tell you the timekeeper is our recorder who's on the far end, and he will be the one that will tell you when your time is up. Also, do not expect to engage us in conversation. We're glad to hear you before the meeting, after the meeting, or any other time. But this is your time to speak to us. So anyone wanting to speak now, come forth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the board. Good evening, and my name is Walter Carnes. I go by Wally Carnes, and I'm a resident of Kingsport, although I do have a Bluntville mailing address. They got the mail routes, but you got me. So what I'm here for tonight, as a taxpayer, we moved here in April 24, a little over 2 years ago, and for us, made a pretty significant investment in a new home over in the Magnolia Ridge subdivision off the airport exit. And because it was a new home, I expected my home to be built according to the standards written in the city codes. And I'm here tonight because those codes were ignored by the builder. And I'm specifically addressing a problem with just my driveway, which was a complete and total construction failure in my home. I'm actually, and just to let you know, I'm going to be meeting with one of the assistant city managers, I believe, but Miss Jessica Harmon, who was polite enough and helpful enough to actually contact me after some series of multiple emails, Department of Public Works. So she asked me if I could come in and we sit down and discuss this. So I do have a meeting with her tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I just wanted to get on the record with the board tonight. There are a number of violations. I'll try to get through those tonight. But what I do want to just mention is that there is a structural failure resulting because of the disregard for the established engineering standards that the city of Kingsport and TDOT and other governmental bodies have. And what's upsetting to me is just the oversight. Now, I understand city inspectors can't be there to look at every little part of the construction of new homes, and I don't expect them to. But apparently in these big subdivision projects, they rely on the builders' engineers to sign off on them and then just take their word for it that it's being completed in accordance with the standards. And I believe that's where the disconnect came in. And believe me, and I also want to mention I'm fully aware of the Tennessee Governmental Tort Liability Act, and just let you know I have no intention and never had an intention to try to go after the city for anything. That's not what I'm doing. What I want to do is find my place here. What I want to do is go after the builder and pursue them for their blatant failure to comply with the requirements of their contractor's license. And the city has a regulatory duty to ensure that those license requirements are met within its jurisdiction. You know, I mean, if the Department of Public Works isn't there to enforce codes, why do we have that department? So I know time is short. I'm gonna wrap this up. What I'm looking to do is I'd like to have a formal notification sent to the builder that the driver was a failure and should be replaced at their expense. I would also like to have them have a formal violation notification sent to them. It would be ideal if we could do some stop work orders in another subdivision or building, but that's a separate issue. And I just would like to see the city of Kingsport stand behind their taxpayers and take the side of the taxpayers over the side of these big builders that come in and kind of bulldoze over everybody. I'm just trying to build I guess a paper trail, if you want to say. And so I started with the builder, which was a very short trail. And then Mr. Mays of the Department of Public Works was very helpful. He actually came out to our house, took lots of pictures and made notes. Ms. Harmon, who, again, I mentioned, she's contacted me. So the city's been very helpful, but we just need to get where I'm trying to be. And, again, from the builder to the city, if I have to go on, and I'm just saying this in general, if I had to go on to my state representatives, or the governor's office, whatever it takes. Okay, just in conclusion, let me just tell you, I'm just an old retired Air Force guy. I moved over here after I retired from the Tennessee State Veterans Home, and I'm just a proud member of this community. I believe I live in the best part of Tennessee, hands down, no questions asked, and I'm proud to be here. I'm very proud to be part of Kingsport, and I just want to have them help me determine that codes are not just words on a page, but are promise kept to citizens. But thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. And please sign there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. As he's finishing up, does anyone else want to address us tonight?
Okay, thank you again.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to address us tonight? Seeing no one, Mr. City Manager.
All right, we'll move on to the approval of minutes. First, from the work session on April 20th, 2026, and the business meeting on April 21st, 2026. We'd ask that you approve these minutes as submitted, please.
Thank you. You've had, I'm sure, and read the minutes of April 20th and 21st. Are there any corrections or any additions to that? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. All in favor of the approval of the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The minutes are approved, 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we now move on to business matters requiring first reading or public hearings. We do have two public hearings on the agenda tonight. The first one is to conduct a public hearing and the 6-month plan of services update for the Bancroft Chapel and the landfill access annexation. Sam Cooper will walk us through that. Sam.
Thank you. This item before you today is for the landfill access and Bancroft Chapel annexation 6-month plan of service update. State law requires that after 6 months for any newly annexed territory that has an adopted plan of services alongside it, a public hearing on the progress of those plan of services be held. As you can see, here, the Bancroft Chapel annexation became effective on September of 2025, and the landfill access annexation became effective on November of 2025. As documented in this report, the plan of service for Bancroft Chapel has a deadline of September 2030. Sewer is awaiting extension, and street markings will be updated when needed. Water is served by Bloomingdale in this area. The plan of services for the landfill access annexation has a deadline of when development occurs. This is due to the Public Works project, which currently has an unanticipated date, and consequently, water and sewer will be extended when the time is ready. If there are any questions on either one of these, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, I'll open up this public hearing. Is anyone here to speak on the 6-month plan of services for Bancroft Chapel? Okay, seeing no one make a move, I'll close public hearing. And I understand we have no action taken on this, so we can move to the next item.
right, our next item is conduct a public hearing and consideration of an ordinance to amend zoning of tax map 45D, Group K, Parcel 17, located along Morrison Avenue from the R1B Residential District to P1 Professional Offices District. Jessica McMurray, walk us through it.
Thank you. This is an owner-requested rezoning along Morrison Avenue. On this slide, you can see the vicinity of where the site is located. On this slide, you'll see zoning designations for the area. The request is to rezone from the R1B Residential District to the P1 Professional Offices District to accommodate a professional office use. The current R1B zoning permits single-family detached homes. The proposed P1 zone permits a range of office uses, including business, professional, government, and civic uses. Special exceptions are listed below. On the next two slides are standards of review, and these are used to determine if a rezoning is appropriate. In this case, the proposed rezoning to P1 is appropriate and compatible with surrounding properties. It aligns with adjacent P1 districts and provides a suitable transition from nearby residential areas without negatively impacting neighboring uses. During their April meeting, the Planning Commission voted to send a positive recommendation to rezone from the R1B zone to the P1 zone based on its compatibility with adjacent P1 zones and its role as an appropriate transition between residential and non-residential uses. And I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Open up the public hearing on the ordinance to amend zoning tax map 45D. Is anyone here to speak on the ordinance? Seeing no activity movement, I will close the public hearing. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to further amend the zoning code text and map to rezone property located along Morrison Avenue from the R1B Residential District to P1 Professional Offices District and the 11th Civil District to Sullivan County to fix the penalty for the violation of this ordinance and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? Or questions? Hearing none. All in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ordinance passes 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal '26. You see across multiple categories here. First one is to consolidate and move into a new project, some demolition funds that were part of an old demolition project with Tri-City Linen. This will actually go to tear down some buildings located just across the street from the new Blue Cross Blue Shield Park. We're accepting a grant with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for our transit fund, and then closing and rolling multiple projects within stormwater dating all the way back to 2021. As you know, this is part of the conversation we had with our audit to begin looking at closing and rolling projects. These will be moved into the Watauga project, Watauga Street project, I should say, which we will be bid out and beginning to work on that in phases. And then last is transferring funds from the sewer extension for the Bancroft Chapel annexation project, just talked about. For that, we'd ask that you approve the budget ordinance, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, amending the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion for approval by Alderman Mays. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
Mayor, I've got a question. I asked this yesterday, but the projects we're closing them out, we're not gonna have to refund any of those projects, correct?
Correct. We may revisit some of these as we go into further phases of the item, but when you see a project from '21, more than likely, we have conducted the work in there, and this is now time to close that project and roll it into a project that's needing funding. So that's what the efforts were here.
But we're not pulling from one, we're gonna have to go back and refund.
We're not taking away from projects that are, that are in progress or existing projects that are having funding removed from them. No, that's not the intent of any of these closing out of old projects.
Thanks.
Any other discussion? Comment? Okay. All in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ordinance passes 6-0. Ms. City Manager.
All right, now moving into business matters requiring final adoption. You have two items in that category. First is consideration of an ordinance amending the fiscal 26 budgets and appropriating general obligation public improvement bond series 2026A proceeds. We'd ask that you approve this budget ordinance on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, amending the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 6-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal 26. Ask that you approve this budget ordinance on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, amending the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 6-0. Ms. City Manager.
All right, now moving into other business. First item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor, or authorize the city manager, I should say, to execute a blanket order for copy paper for the Tennessee State Contract 77326. This is an annual thing we do this time of year. This will provide paper for the city of Kingsport, Kingsport City Schools over the course of the next fiscal year. Also noted in the action form, this is the last year on the state contract, so we anticipate that will be rebid next year. Estimated cost is around $90,000, and we'd ask that you approve this resolution authorizing this purchase.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a blanket order for the purchase of copy paper to American Paper and Twine utilizing Tennessee State Contract number 77326 for use by various city and school departments.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion?
Has there been a decrease in copy paper over the last several years?
Usage?
Usage?
Yes, tremendously.
Okay, that's what I figured there had to be, just one of the things that's going down.
Yeah, we're seeing less use of that just through
Email.
technology, email, various different forms that we used to sign. We're now approving online. Same is true with schools, as you know. Gone are the days of the central store down at Fleet where we had a whole warehouse full of paper and it would be replenished on a regular basis, and we've seen less and less usage of that over time.
Way inflation's going, we'll have to get print money.
We'll have to start using the backside.
That's what I'm saying.
Any other discussion?
You asked my question, so you were spot on.
Okay.
I think it's fair to say, though, that government will never be paperless, correct?
Correct. As we sit here with our paper agendas while we read it off the computer.
When we go to budget meeting and we get this much, we walk out of here with.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution awarding the bid for the purchase of asphalt for fiscal '27. Bids have come in. Estimated annual cost is around $1.6 million. You see listed within the action form, the recommend to award to Black Ops Materials, Fuller Asphalt Materials, WL Construction and Paving, and Summers and Taylor. Of course, this is all based upon the TDOT Bituminous Index. This will be purchased on an as-needed basis, so it is possible that Price could fluctuate through the year, but this is for the self-paving work that will be done by the city of Kingsport. We'd ask that you approve this bid for the estimated purchase of $1.6 million for the upcoming fiscal year.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the bids for the purchase of asphalt to Black Ops Materials, Fuller Asphalt Materials, WL Construction and Paving Company Incorporated, and Summers Taylor Incorporated, and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders for the same.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
Chris, is there an estimate of how many miles this 1.6 million will get us?
I don't know that there's an estimate on miles. Next week we'll talk as we go through the budget, kind of the estimated number of miles. But, you know, this could be for a variety of things, from us needing to patch where water lines come up or use pothole repair. So this has a broad use outside of our Pave Kingsport program.
I guess the follow-up question is, how much has this gone up over the last few years? Paving.
Increase in price and asphalt, I think, you know, it's,
Estimate?
I don't know that I can give you an estimate. It's often we look at the price of a barrel of oil, and then that trickles down to the impact on asphalt, all of that.
I had somebody, we talked about this the other day, and they was saying, you know, the city paving as much, putting the same amount of money in, the same amount this year is not gonna get as many miles as last year got. Is that fair?
No, absolutely, absolutely.
So what's the question?
Idea on how much asphalt's gone up in the last few years.
Okay, sorry. So stone and concrete have gone up, let's say, with inflation, 4, 5, 6%.
Yeah.
What you see here is a reflection. It gets bid with the asphalt bituminous index.
Sure.
So it's much higher right now. So you see like a 23% increase or something. That's year over year. But it'll go down as the bituminous index goes down. But they have to bid it at a certain point in
If
time.
oil goes down.
If it goes down. You're exactly right. It could go up.
Yeah.
And so much of it will fluctuate through the year with the bituminous index. So as you see, your gas prices go up, our ability to purchase asphalt goes up. So there are some of the bids that are about 20% higher than last year, but that's hard to say that the price of asphalt's gone up 20% if it, if it's going to
Gone
fluctuate
up
through
more
the
than
year.
concrete and stone.
It has gone up more in concrete and stone, yeah.
But it's still cheaper probably than concrete. I mean, to do an asphalt road as opposed to,
Yes, much, much cheaper, the labor involved. Now, if it goes up any more, and when we bid Sullivan Street was bid both ways and came in cheaper on concrete at the time. And I can't remember exactly what time that was, but you can get into a situation where you might see that, yeah. But as Alderman Baker mentioned, there's a change. We just don't know. We would anticipate it would go down, but you don't know.
Just costs more to pave.
Does.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, any other comments or discussion? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. This is city manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution awarding the bid for the purchase of concrete for fiscal '27. Estimated cost of around $267,000, again on an as-needed basis. Our recommendation is to award the bid to Summers Taylor and Ready Mix USA. We'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the purchase. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the bid for the purchase of concrete to Summers Taylor Incorporated and Ready Mix USA and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders for the same.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution awarding the bid for the purchase of crushed stone for fiscal '27. Our estimated cost is around $250,000. We are recommending to you that you award a bid to Vulcan Construction Materials, Icon Environmental, and Glass Machinery and Excavation. I ask that you approve this bid, this item.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion
Mr.
for
I haven't
approval?
read it yet, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, excuse me. I'm
Re-
ready. I'm rolling. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the bid for the purchase of crushed stone, Vulcan Construction Materials, Icon Environmental and Glass Machinery and Excavation Incorporated, and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders for the same.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. Now I may I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second? Second. Alderman Baker. Okay, any discussion? I'm not trying to rush us through anything, by the way.
Exciting items.
Yeah, we're doing some hard work here. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. Yes, city manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to purchase 12 2026 Ford Explorers and one 2026 Transit low roof van utilizing the state contract. These are vehicles that are, all actually are going into our police department. You see within the recommendation letter, those vehicles, the different types of vehicles. This is all part of our fleet replacement program. That, Mayor, would ask that you approve bid for the purchase of these vehicles through the state contract.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of 12 2026 Ford Explorers and one 2026 Transit low roof van from Lonnie Cobb Ford utilizing Tennessee State Contract Number 88764 and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase order for the same.
Thank you. You've heard a resolution to purchase 12 vehicles. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. The city manager.
All right, next is consideration of resolution awarding the bid for the purchase of contracted truck hauling for fiscal '27. Estimated cost is around $100,000. It is recommended that we award the bid to American Environmental, Quest Enterprise, Inc., Glass Machinery and Excavation, JTB Construction, and Icon Environmental. This is used across various city departments for various uses. We ask that you approve the bid for the upcoming fiscal year.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the bid for contracted truck hauling for fiscal year 2027 to American Environmental LLC, Quest Enterprise Incorporated, and Glass Machinery and Excavation Incorporated, JTB Construction, and Icon Environmental LLC, and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders for the same.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase two 72-passenger school buses and one 43-passenger special education bus from the Central States Bus Sales, Inc., utilizing the Sourcewell contract. These are obviously going to Kingsport City Schools. One note of change, these buses will be conventional gas buses due to increasing costs for diesel maintenance. So this is an efficiency that's been brought to us, approved by Kingsport City Schools, allow us to still provide the same level of service, but be able to do so, we believe, at a much less annual cost than what we've previously seen, not to mention a lot easier for us to work on. Steve Leonard, our fleet maintenance manager, is here. He's very much instrumental in all of these vehicle purchases and continues to look for ways to reduce costs across all aspects of our fleet operations, does an outstanding job in doing so. This comes to you tonight for approval, and we'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the purchase.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order to Central States Bus Sales Incorporated for two 72-passenger school buses and one 43-passenger school bus through Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement number 063020-BBB.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes 6-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to accept federal fiscal year 2024 Department of Homeland Security State Local Cybersecurity Grant Program. As we state often, staff does an outstanding job of seeking out these grants. This will allow us to accept 750 CrowdStrike cybersecurity license and a reimbursement grant in the amount of nearly $78,000. We ask that you approve the resolution allowing us to enter into this grant for this purpose. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to accept a Department of Homeland Security state and local cybersecurity grant and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion for approval by Alderman Mays. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the resolution say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution awarding the bid for city-owned surplus real property located off Hawthorne Street, tax map 62G, Group C, parcel 26. This is being purchased by the adjacent property owner. As you see here on the map, the lot is identified in blue, and then the property owner, which is listed there, was the sole bidder on this. That, we would ask for your approval, allowing us to move forward with this bid for this surplus property. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving the sale of surplus real property located at off Hawthorne Street and authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement for the same and all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement in this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the resolution say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Parent Square for communications engagement platform for Kingsport City Schools. This comes to us from the Board of Education. This is a new software that they will be putting in place in order to allow them to better communicate with all parties associated with Kingsport City Schools. Good write-up in the Kingsport Times News today regarding this. We'd ask that you move forward with the approval of this purchase. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Parent Square for a communications and engagement platform for Kingsport City Schools.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion for approval by Alderman Mays. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion?
I noticed this has an attendance module on it. Parents get notified when their kids are not at school.
My understanding.
I'd have been hurting it.
I tell you what.
That's what I understand, though. It's an instant communication for multiple things. Well, I
Yeah.
understand this is a super thing.
Yeah, in our regular meeting with Dr. Hampton and Brandon Fletcher, they spoke very highly of this as a new communication tool, one that they're very proud of. Schools face the same things that we do, communicating to their customer base, communicating to their parents and students, and they feel like this will help them tremendously with that effort.
You may not know this. Is it an app-based software? Or can you opt in with a phone number or?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to point out that, since you brought that up, and I appreciate that very much, that, remember the report that this board has talked about where Sullivan County ranked last in Yep, and truancy, and Dr. Hampton gave a very nice presentation and gave us in-depth information. So I think the school board should be commended for using technology to help toward that effort to improve truancy rate in Kingsport City Schools. So, so glad that we got to approve this. Actually, I thought the article in the Times News was well written. I was glad to see that, so.
May not be for that reason, but that, the truancy, if it does text a parent or let them know their kid not, that should help.
Yeah.
Any other discussion, comment? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. City Manager.
All right, we have no items on consent, so we'll move into communications. If you couldn't tell by the agenda, we're in budget season. Bulk of the items that were on here tonight lead into next year's budget and various items that we will need for overall operations for the city of Kingsport. Next week, we have 2 budget work sessions scheduled. The first is on Monday, May 11th in the afternoon from 2 to 5. We will hear general fund budget as well as utilities, and then on Thursday, we will hear from Kingsport City Schools on what their recommended budget is for the upcoming fiscal year. All that will lead into first reading, public hearing, first reading on the budget at our first meeting in June, and passage and final adoption later in June before the budget goes into effect on July 1. I say this every year. We ask a tremendous amount of your time in the month of May. Typically during the working hours, we appreciate the time that you give us to come in here and review this. Appreciate the work that has been done by our city staff. We have a new budget director and Rebecca Wilson, and she's jumped right in and tackled this budget and assisted greatly by Travis Bishop, our CFO, and countless other folks in the finance department as they've combed through this budget. A lot of the project closeout you see has been done by finance as they have been combing through those projects and identifying these accounts and moving these dollars around. All of this is very beneficial for the upcoming fiscal year, and we look forward to presenting that to you all next week. We had this conversation last night regarding the new utility billing. Work continues to convert our customers over that need to set up the new bank accounts, Visa accounts, whatever it may be. That is going very well. With any kind of conversion, we still have work that will be done, some of which the customer will see, a lot of which is kind of behind the counter with our staff and various vendors we have. But a tremendous lift by all. I see Floyd Bailey here, our IT director. He's worked countless hours on that to make that happen along with his team and countless folks in finance. Great job by them as we take this 36-year-old system that we've been operating and convert it into a modern system. The replies that we are getting from those who are utilizing the new app and the software have just been outstanding, and really appreciate those comments. Appreciate the team that's worked downstairs to help folks who've come in on this. So big lift. Appreciate the work done by everybody on that. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Alderman Baker.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say congratulations to the scholarship recipients. Kudos to the city for keeping that project going. And I do want to thank Floyd and Travis both. Floyd was telling me some things offline that the city is doing to adapt with the software. I understand with the vendor, we're the first municipality in some respects to do some of the things that we're doing, but anytime you do something different with customers, regardless of the organization you are, you gotta be real intentional with that. But I appreciate your all's effort and the things that you're doing to make sure that you're staying on top of that. So, very much so, both Travis and Floyd. That's all I've got, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Mays.
Oh, thank you. Couple of things. One is, today is Election Day for primaries for constitutional officers in offices in the state of Tennessee. So I hope that the city of Kingsport had good turnout, good participation, and certainly I know all the board members here hope we have good participation in the upcoming elections for the rest of the year. So let's hope we have good numbers tonight. So also, I'd like to compliment our city staff on the transition to customer service. in the way that we pay our bills to the city of Kingsport. I just want to convey my experience was very positive. I went in as a customer and came out very satisfied. I think a note should be said about the city staff. It goes a long way. People can be frustrated with technology and change of business, a change of way of doing things, because it takes time. It takes time to learn. But city staff are so nice and treat customers respectfully, and I think that goes a long way. And I think that's why we're seeing so much positive, feedback about the transitions, because of city staff. But it also should be mentioned, all the hard work for months, if not a couple of years, has gone into this project. And so I think you've been very successful. So I tip my hat to all the city staff.
Alderman Cook.
No.
Yes. Alderman George.
I just want to tap on to what Alderman Mays said about today being election for primaries. And I think you have 4 more minutes if you hadn't voted. But I want to thank all the candidates that chose to put themselves out there. We've all been there. And I think from the first time I ran, which was 13 years ago, things have changed a lot in how much social media is out there. What information is, what people are very comfortable to, really saying a lot of things that maybe didn't get said in the past, that are not always factually based or based on the positions of what they're running for. So I think it takes a lot for people to put themselves out there. And as Alderman Maid says, I hope everybody gets, does go out and vote. I hope people do their homework and know who they're voting for. But thank all the people that ran, or whether the ones that won and the ones that didn't, but they all put themselves out there. And you are really putting yourself out there more than what you used to be doing because of all the social media. And said people are very comfortable spreading whatever they hear and saying, about people. So I do appreciate anybody that was willing to step up to do the service, and I hope we get a wonderful elected county commissioners, because what the county does really affects what happens in our city. So we need the best people up there, and again, I appreciate everybody for putting their name on the ballot.
Said. Vice Mayor.
Just a couple of items. Keep Kingsport beautiful. We've had 2 successful cleanups. Lynn Garden is coming up this Saturday, 10 to 12. So if you feel like picking up trash, come on up and join us. And the farmer's market opens Saturday. And as I always say, just come out and see your neighbor. So it's in full force. With that said and done, good luck to the candidates.
If you hadn't voted, you got 2 minutes to get there by now. Let me say thank you to board meeting tonight, and to those of you who are working with us, staff-wise. Today I got to participate in a significant event. Marjo Reed celebrated 50 years of service here in the city. She was employed on May 5th, 1976. And I know some of y'all weren't born then, but she celebrated her 50 years here today in our finance department. That's significant. So if you get a chance when you see her, congratulate her on accomplishment, because that's very significant. Last Friday night, Vice Mayor and I attended the DB Band banquet, and it was amazing. Civic Auditorium was packed, 500 people there. It was well done. They continue to show up in numbers, and so I applaud them for the work that they're doing there. And for those who are graduating from college and family members, I say congratulations to you and your families for support there with your families. And Thursday is National Day of Prayer. I will see you at Meadowview, hopefully, 8 o'clock. This means adjourned. Thank you.